Hey everybody, this is Scott from Lawrence Hypnotherapy. So if you're a hypnotherapist and you basically want to grow your business, you want to be able to get perhaps up to 20 clients per week, there's a plan that you can follow, and I get it, sometimes the steps can be a bit hard, but I've put together like a whole bunch of treats to help you out to do this today, so that under this video, if you scroll down, you're going to see my exact plan and examples, because everybody's asking for examples. Scott, can you give me examples? And so I've put together the mother load of examples for you on this page for free, so when you scroll down, you'll be able to see my 3-step plan. So this week I've done over 3K in hypnotherapy, more in my coaching stuff. I've done video interviews with people. Again, welcome. Thanks for being here. How are you?
I appreciate the invitation and I'm awesome. Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
My heart's desire or other people's heart's desire, and still then they still don't take that necessary action.
I've done so much.
Get out of here. You don't have an appointment.
And I've also had a lot of fun, but it's also, sometimes it can be tiring. Sometimes you can feel not like doing the work or the uncertainty. The same as we're back in a lockdown. There is so much sometimes playing against you that the one thing you do not want to have playing against you, like when you're growing in practice, is your own mind. And so I want to first show you some mindset steps that's going to help you to get to the other side, and then some physical business steps that are a lot easier than you think if you just do them step by step. Let's take a look. So how do you grow your hypnotherapy practice? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact plan, and as I said, when you scroll down on this page, there are so many goodies that I put together as examples where clients keep saying, give me examples, Scott, give me examples. I was like, well, here you go, I've given you the examples. Before we get into the plan, there's some mindset stuff that's really going to help you to get through to the other side of the work, because I know what it's like. Sometimes I don't feel like doing the work. I've procrastinated. I've kind of gone, I just can't be bothered today, or it's overwhelming, or it's confusing, or I don't know what to do. But let me show you the 4 distinctions that'll get you from nowhere to exactly where you want to be. You'll see exactly what I mean. If you can let go of these 4 bad habits, you'll be able to attract as many clients per week as what you want to be able to do. So the 4 things to get over right now is what we call overwhelm, negative questions, amnesia, and being a control freak. So let's take a look at the first one. So this is a common one that happens with hypnotherapists a lot. So what we call the doesn't work versus overwhelm spectrum. If you give them one piece of information, they're like, oh, it doesn't work, do you have anything else? It's like, yeah, there's 3 parts to this whole thing, and you've got to do all 3 before the money starts to flow. They're like, oh, well, where's the money? As I just said, you need to do all 3 before the money starts to flow. Yeah, but I did the first one, so where's the money? Well, as I just said.
Oh my God!
And this could go on forever. You need to do all 3 before the money starts to flow. Oh, but then I did the first. It's like, okay, that's just going to go on forever. But then what happens is that you give them all 3, they're like, I'm overwhelmed. It's like as soon as you show somebody like a course that has 10 videos in it, it's like, I'm overwhelmed. It's like, imagine that they just step outside. Imagine what happens. There's outside. I'm overwhelmed. There's look how big outside is. And it's so much of a mindset thing that, just zooming out to this again, it becomes a spectrum. This is basically it's an emotional wound that if you can get past the need to control everything and just do the steps, you then don't need to then worry about one step by itself doesn't work. Of course, one step by itself doesn't work. It takes 3 before the money starts to flow. And when somebody then gives you 3 steps, you then can actually just relax on number 1 and just do step number 1. Finish it, if that makes sense. Finish step 1.
Do you want me to cry? Is that what you want? Do you want to see me cry? Sir, no, sir!
That's where people are stuck, finishing step 1. The next one, negative questions. So with negative questions, this is how hypnotherapists who believe in hypnotherapy are not necessarily using the same language that they would teach to their clients. So a negative question is things like, why doesn't this work? Well, what's the brain going to do when you ask it, why doesn't this work? It's going to find a reason why it doesn't work. Versus, on the other side, how do I make this work? Or, I'm confused versus, I have a specific question. Nobody can help you with I'm confused because it's not a question. If you go, I'm confused, I'm sorry, no. Nobody can help you with that question. No coach, no expert, no family member can help you with I'm confused, because it is not a question. It lacks a question. What's the ask? So ask a specific question to get a specific answer. Then how long will this take? Like, I don't know, you're taking a very long time. Versus, what if I start now? See, like that, when I want to launch a course or attract clients or whatever it is, like what I find is that in most cases, I act immediately and I'm done in an hour. But I do find that there's a lot of people out there that stretch 1 hour's work into about 9 months. So they've seen every seminar, they've seen every expert, they've done every course, but they're still stretching 1 hour's work into 9 months.
I'll do it this afternoon.
And it's painful. Like when they go like, how long is this going to take? Like, honestly, I don't know, but you're taking a very long time. So what you want to do is stop taking a long time and focus. And whether you need someone next to you to help you do it, whether you need my help, when I sit down next to people, or whether it's a Zoom call or whether it's a phone call, we get stuff done fast, mainly because we don't fluff around. The next one is like, I need money now. You need to stop saying this, because what it does is it programs your brain to be broke. Instead, what you need to say is, I need to do my steps now. Stop asking if it will work. Stop saying you're overwhelmed with 3 steps. Stop saying that 1 step's not enough and you need to see the whole plan. Because when people give you the whole plan, what happens is like that you get overwhelmed. When they only give you 1 step, you're like, well, it didn't work because it was only 1 step. You need to finish step 1 and then do step 2, 3. We're going to do it in this video, but nobody can help a person who has these problems until they basically stop generating these problems.
Say yes! Say yes! Say yes!
The hardest prison to escape is the one that every time you escape it, you build that prison around your body again or around your mind again, no matter how many times you escape it. Number 3, amnesia. So amnesia is a bad habit that sometimes hypnotherapists can have, where what they're doing is, instead of following the steps by going, oh, here's the 3 steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, they'll go, what's next, what's next? They're like, well, I put it on a piece of paper in front of you. There's the piece of paper in front of you. Step 1, after 1, we learned this in primary school, 2 comes after 1, 3 comes after 2. There it is on paper. You can ask for help with these steps, but don't ask what's next. What comes after 1? So let's say like if you're working on traffic, like, okay, now that I've got the traffic, what's next? You tell me what comes after 1. I bet you it's 2. So that when step 1 is the traffic, step 2 is build the trust, step 3 is the transaction, and I will show you how to do all 3. But this is the minimum that I need from you in order for me to help. If you finish the traffic steps, which is number 1, and the piece of paper in front of you says that number 2 is build the trust, you can ask me, okay, great, how do we build the trust? But do not ask me, what's next? Because it's like you want to train the brain to be able to read a piece of paper in front of you and go, oh, what's next is this next step that's on the piece of paper in front of me. Or, as it says, like, watch the videos. So if there's like a course that you get that has 10 videos, step 1 is basically how to build a web page. Click here, click there. Great. Step 2 is what sales copy to write on the web page. Great, you've done that. Step 3 is then setting up a Facebook or a Google ad. Great, you've done that. Ask for help if you get stuck on those specific sections. But if the plan is in front of you, don't train your brain for amnesia by asking what's next, what's next, what's next. Or else what it's going to do is it's going to create an amnesia habit brain. An amnesia habit brain, if that makes sense. So drop the amnesia. Number 4, control freak. Being a control freak versus the hero's journey. What I mean by this is that you're walking into the cave of the unknown. That's okay. You don't need to know how everything's going to turn out in advance. It's like that. Here's something that I love this saying. I will start watering the plant once it starts growing. That's how a control freak speaks. It's they may not use that exact phrase because that phrase is designed to point out the silliness of the sentence. But people apply that I'll start watering the plant once it grows to their business. I'll start doing the steps once the money comes. Well, that's never going to work. It's that you have to basically finish step 1, get your traffic done. Step 2, build the trust. Step 3, offer a program with a transaction. Do those 3 steps, and in this video we're showing you exactly how to do it. So that's the mindset stuff that we've been talking about, and I really want you to basically, in all humility, don't get offended if it sounds like I'm having a go at you, because this is for love. Like if I look at your bank account and you're saying like, I need the money, it's like, hey, I get that. So if you're in so much need to get this right, are you willing to drop the silliness? Are you willing to drop the ego? Are you willing to drop the victimhood mindset and go along with this so that you can reach the promised land, so you can reach pleasure? Don't say nothing works, otherwise you're training your brain for nothing to work. Does that make sense? If not, then I've just wasted your time with this video. All I've done, if you kind of disagree with every single thing that I've said so far, or you find it boring, or you find that it's not for you, then all I've done in this video so far is waste your time, and it's not going to get any better from here. So only keep watching this video if you would like some free steps right now of what to do to start seeing clients, because that's what we're about to do right now. So let's get into it. So how to grow your business. Just follow the system. Use the 3T system. So here it is, 1, 2, and 3. Again, you don't need to ask what's next. You can ask how. Don't ask what's next. Number 1, traffic. Attract leads. I will show you how. Number 2, gain trust. Gain reputation. I will show you how. Number 3, transaction. Make an offer. I will show you how. Do not ask me what's next. Ask me how. Does that make sense? Does this distinction between what happens after number 1 and then for me to have to like sort of spend time sort of going like, well, let's do revision 900 times for the same thing, versus kind of like, no, let's build this momentum and let's like actually get into doing the next step. Let's like hit record on the video. Let's like, move, when your fingers are typing, writing an ebook, or when you hit record and you speak into the camera, it literally doesn't matter at first if you're doing a good or a bad job. It matters that you're having a go and you will get better. Does that make sense? That's the stuff that's going to make you money. This kind of like hiding in the shadows, I will water the plant once it starts growing isn't going to work. Of like, oh, I'm not good enough. It's like I had one client once who said to me, I can't go to the gym because I'm not strong enough. And I'm like, huh? You can't go to the gym because you're not strong enough? Do you mean that like you can't open the door? They're automatic doors. You walk up to the door and it opens. There's often escalators into it. Like somebody can drop you off. Do you have enough muscle power to put on your shoes? Because if you can do that, the gym is where you get strong. They have weights. You start with the light ones and you build up to the heavy ones by using the right technique. But when somebody says, and this is literally a conversation that was a loop that I had with a client years ago, that I can't go to the gym because I'm not strong enough. Well, where do you go to get strong? Gyms. It's like, oh, I can't go to the restaurant because I'm too hungry. Or like, I can't go to the restaurant because I haven't eaten yet. Well, that's just insane. Because like, restaurants are where you eat. But this is like, it's the same logic that happens when it comes to like, this could be you, and this is why I'm asking you to drop the ego. It could be talking to you, and this might sound offensive to you, but it's not offensive. It's with love. This is sometimes what you are doing, and this is sometimes why you are broke. It's because sometimes you are saying these things, and I want you to change the language. I want you to change the words that you're using. Instead of saying that I can't record a video because I'm not good enough, it's that I will record a video until I'm good enough. Does that make sense? Oh, but then when's the money gonna come? Is that okay? Well, then you need to stop doing that and say, start the steps, drop the ego, stop being a control freak, don't be perfect. Be someone who's doing, if that makes sense. So hopefully I haven't offended too many people by telling the truth here, but this is what you need to do, is that you need to drop the ego, and you need to drop the control freak, you need to drop the perfectionism, and drop the fear, and start moving, start making these steps. Don't be afraid of computers, don't be afraid of technology, don't be afraid of money, don't be afraid of clients, don't be afraid of your own face, don't be afraid of your own voice, don't be afraid of trolls. They will always exist, but here's the secret, is that how much they affect you is up to you. Don't give them permission to steal your life's career. Think about all the people that you could be helping. instead of thinking about like, oh, what if someone makes fun of me? Yeah, someone's gonna make fun of you. People make fun of me all the time. I got picked on in school. My name was Spot. I had eczema. Like, my name is Scott, but they were calling me Spot because, you know, like that I had to wear shorts in school because that's what I had. And so then everybody could see, like, you know, it's healed up now and it's great. Like, I grew out of it. But you can imagine like what that felt like. And to some part of me, it's kind of like I grew out of caring or giving a stuff about what other people think about me, because what other people think about you is going to steal your entire life. There's always going to be people out there who think something ridiculous about you. You need to let this stuff go in order for you to move ahead. So I don't want to get too preachy, too lectury, because I can hear that tone of voice in myself as well. But again, this is with love. Do you want to make some money? Let's go on with that step, because this will really help. So learn from my examples on this page of how I made $250,000 and see if you can do it. Use this as inspiration for yourself. I can't promise you that you'll earn a single cent because I don't know how much work you'll do. I don't know if you'll just freeze up at the first sign of like, oh, I turned on the camera and then I decided never to do a video again, or I did a post and someone trolled me so I decided to put my computer in the bin. I don't know if that's you or not, if that makes sense. But you might be. I could be talking to someone right now who says, you know what? Stuff it, I'm ready. I'm gonna do this. And I hope that's who I'm talking to right now. So here's the plan. Traffic, trust, transaction. On this page, I've given you so many examples, and I want you to use them as inspiration, because people are asking, well, you know, like that, let's say when I was first trained in sales, guess what I said to my sales teacher? He gave me a script and said, well, learn this, and then we're gonna get you to drive out to all these customers and start selling them stuff. And I'm going, can I see an example? And so like what he did for me is he let me sit in on other people's sales meetings so I could kind of go like, because like not everything's on the page. It's like that sometimes you need to see examples. Like when you see the plan, like right here where it says traffic, trust, and transaction, on the left side of this blue line, this vertical line, on the right side is the example, so you can kind of go like, well, alright, I get traffic means like, you know, attract leads. But when you say attract leads, what is it that you're saying, meaning specifically about it? It's like, well, what if I could give you a whole bunch of examples? Nearly 100. So with traffic, and again, don't get overwhelmed when I say 100 examples, because like, say if I give somebody one example, they're like, not enough, I need more. If I give them 3 examples, overwhelmed, too many. That's ego. Drop that right now. The 100 examples are there so that like every couple of days or something, you can watch another one. Does that make sense? So that I'm giving you more than what you would need to be able to get there. So that you've got enough examples for the brain to go, I feel familiar with this now. I feel that this is like, I'm really tuned in, tapped in, and ready to go. So traffic, attracting leads. I'm not going to put it in this video because if you scroll down, you'll see this picture that says Facebook Live examples. Click on it, there's nearly 100. There's just Facebook Live examples. These are things, like when I say traffic, attract people, what seems to work on the internet today, out of all the tactics, and all of the hacks and things that people are doing, there's one thing that'll work forever, the only thing that's never broken, and that's consistency. When you put yourself out there, let's say like once a week, so like this is like what YouTube is telling people to do. If you want to be big on YouTube, put out weekly content, not 10 in one day and none for 6 months. Once a week, do a video. Once a week, do a post. Once a week, get people to be looking for you once a week, and you will grow. That's the formula. Do it once a week. Click on my examples below to see all my examples. And then there's the posts. Again, once a week, do a post. If you, again, I'm not going to show them all to you in this video, because if you just scroll down on this page, you can read all 77 post examples. And just again to get over like the 77, overwhelm, do I have to do 77? That's ego. Stop that stuff right now. I know that I keep bringing up this same point, but here's the thing. Overwhelm is fake. I know that sounds like a big call, but overwhelm is fake. Because overwhelm is when people think that time doesn't exist. Because overwhelm is like when people think that all 77 had to happen right this second. And how long do you think it took me to do 77 post examples? Here's a hint. I told you to basically do 1 post a week. So how many weeks do you reckon it took for me to do these 77 examples? That's right. The answer is, it took me 77 weeks. Oh, but I can't wait 77 weeks before I start earning money. It's like, well, who said that you had to? What I'm saying is, start now. And you might earn some money this week, you might earn some money next week, but the idea is never, ever, ever stop. Just once a week. Just keep doing it and you'll grow. Does that make sense? So I don't even know where it comes from when people go, oh, but I have to do 77 weeks or else I'm not going to get paid. Well, am I going to start getting paid after 77 weeks? I'm like, I don't even know where that idea came from. That's like, well, if I gave you 50 examples, are you going to say, oh, 50 weeks before I start getting paid? Like, no, I didn't say 50 weeks before you start getting paid. I just said, here's 50 examples because you asked me for some more. Or if I put out 200 examples, I'm like, you want more examples because you keep asking me for examples? Here's 200 examples. Like, oh, I can't wait 200 weeks before I start getting paid. It's like, oh my God, where did this come from? Where did this come from, this idea that...
Where'd this come from?
Or if I give you a course that's like 5 months. Oh, I can't wait 5 months before I start getting paid. Where did this come from? Where did this idea come from? That the length of my course that I give you is how long it'll be before you start getting paid. Does that make sense? They're not connected. It's just that what I'm giving you is examples. And people are artificially sometimes connecting dots that shouldn't be connected. You can get paid this week. But what you want to do is be consistent. You'll get paid more over time if you're consistent over time. Does this make sense? Is this coming across with love or is this coming across with arrogance? I don't know. Let me know. Because what I want is I want to come across to you with love and I'm trying to help. Does that make sense? Industry interviews. These are brilliant. If you run out of stuff to say, people love talking. I've got 17 examples here for you and they've grown my database like you wouldn't believe. So when I was saying, I'm just going to scroll back a little bit to this other side. Traffic, attract leads. So it's how did you do so many $1,000 this week? Well, I've got 3 parts. Let's zoom out one more time. Traffic, trust, transaction. These 3 steps. How did I do step 1? Remember, traffic is step 1. I did a Facebook Live. I did a post. I interviewed someone. I just keep putting that stuff out there. And then my database gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I can email people, or if my Facebook group, as it's getting bigger and bigger, I can, every time I basically post an offer, people buy. It used to be a little bit more public, the people would say I'm in and get, make the transaction more public. These days, it seems that people direct message me a lot more and basically ask me, do you think this course is for me? And I give them some version of yes. Does that make sense? So that what you'll find is that it's kind of a little bit less public out there, that the people that, the millionaires, that the gurus that are doing really well, they're a lot more consistent with what they're putting out, their books and their posts. But when it comes to them selling, they're doing a lot more of the selling in private these days, through direct message or phone calls, or emails. But they're definitely making a lot more money now in private than what they were when it was all public, if that makes sense. Ebooks, this has been my #1 way of basically growing my traffic, getting my list to be bigger and bigger. If you want a whole bunch of smokers, if you want a whole bunch of basically people that need to learn how to drop sugar from their diet, or from people that need to sleep better to be able to treat anxiety or depression, imagine if they're all reading your book all the time to basically to be able to get to sleep, to be able to fix their mindset. And then as it starts to get particularly hard for them, then they want to contact you, especially the next time you've got an offer. So putting out a post about an ebook is a brilliant way. If you want to get a database that's maybe 3,000 people and you want to do that as quickly as possible, don't focus on the number 3,000 as a size of a database. Focus on, well, what's a problem that I could teach people how to fix? That grows your database faster than going, oh, where am I going to find 3,000 people? Don't stress about that. The internet has found those people for you. They're all on it. What the internet is looking for is somebody whose message is really good, because people are putting out these boring messages of how to lose weight. I'm nah, go deeper. Lose weight in what circumstance? instead of like saying, I've got a product for weight loss, like say, I've got a product for busy women who travel who are left-handed. Like maybe the left-handed part's a joke, but like if the more specific you get about the actual condition you're helping them with, the bigger your database will get. So the next part is trust, gain reputation. And so let's take a look at what my examples are. So like here's one, you can click on it. You can just like, I'm not going to go into all the videos in this particular video because they're all here. You just need to like scroll down on this page and click on it and they're all there. You can see my examples of how I gain trust with students so they buy my courses. So like this was like a 5-day Jumpstarter course that I gave away for free in order to help people basically to grow the business. And so it takes them through the thing that I call like the 5 Ps. So I've got like what I call a teachable framework. So there was like the P was the problem that you've got to learn how to fix. The next P was the program you package up, or the next one can be the price. The next one can be like the promote, and the next one can be the partnering. And so this is the stuff that I would teach, and people go like, that's the basics that I need to know to be able to solve my problem. But let's say that you're not helping people with business. Let's say that you're helping people with, let's say, insomnia, depression, anxiety, like all those different things. It's the same. You come up with a framework. It could be the 5 Ps or the 5 Cs or the list of 10 things you're going to do to get something. Does that make sense? And then you teach it. You can be like, well, I don't know all the computer stuff. I don't know how to do these long monologues and rants like you. I don't know how to... I was like, okay, again, that's ego. That's control freak. I didn't know either. I wasn't born that way. In school, I was the idiot who like that when I put my hand up, I couldn't make the words come out of my mouth. The teacher would basically like ask me, it was weird. The teacher asked me like in year 7, does anybody know what waffling is? I put my hand up because my parents kept telling me that I waffle and make no sense. And so what I did is instead of like saying that waffling is to speak a lot without making sense, I just waffled and didn't make any sense. So like I was a bad speaker, and the way I became a much better speaker is that I had to start. That's why like when you scroll down and look at my Facebook Live examples, you're going to see some good ones, you're going to see some bad ones. You're going to see me change my skill level over time. And that's beneficial to you so that you can see that I'm not a robot. I'm just like another individual just like you. I may as well be you, just on a journey at a different time, if that makes sense. So this course, it's like you can make a course, you can give courses away. I can show you what the tools are and you'll see them as you continue on with the videos with me. Another one, so I call this one the 5-minute traffic builder, and this is like where I just showed people how to build a web page in 5 minutes and how to get traffic in 5 minutes. Like if you want to see 2 smokers this week and earn $800, bang. I showed them how to do it. And I'm like, well, because people worry so much about trust, and just to kind of scroll back to this particular side, see how this part says trust? So what it is, it's a trust builder by saying, you know what, I'll do it live and I'll risk embarrassment by going, I will get smokers to book in and to say I'm in on this feed thing at the risk of it not working, and do it in front of you. And I did, and it worked. And you can even see, like when you click on the picture, you can see the exact post that I used. It's all there, it's all transparent. So that what I'm basically saying with this trust step is that this is what I used to get therapists to pay me, but then also I used the same technique to get hypnotherapy clients to pay me by building trust and showing them, look, this is how it's done. And then the proof page, again, like you can click on this, it's all there. Like there's a new course that I've put out recently that's all part of this, like when you buy my next course. And there's a link at the bottom which you can buy, but you can also just see it, is to see how I sell, and to see like how I get so many people to buy. But basically that on the trust page, like I'm showing you like, you know, NDIS checks and WorkSafe checks and TAC payments and FPOS receipts and money things. It's like just like showing like this is what came in this week, just so I can show you that yes, there's an industry out there and yes, people are paying for it. Does that make sense? It's like and some of this is actually just from a couple of days ago, like especially like the bottom middle one. I took that photo about 2 days ago, just so you can see, like, you know, my midweek just FPOS earnings, and then testimonials. There's I think 17 on this page of just people saying, buy from Scott, buy from Scott, buy from Scott. Big names in the industry that keep telling you, buy from Scott, his stuff's great, he helped me. And so again, that's part of the trust. Testimonials are great. Transaction, I've only got one example that I'm showing you, partly because like with the making of it. I do want you to buy this course because it's really going to help you, especially if you can do those 4 steps of the Drop the Ego. Just buy it, go through it, ask me for help, ask high quality specific questions. I'll help you, and then I'm sure that you'll get to the other side. But don't be overwhelmed by its size. It is the biggest course that's out there, but don't let that overwhelm you. It's like the same as like when you step outside. It's like, yeah, outside's big. That's a good thing. It just means you have many options. The same as with this. It's like that the course is big. It's just like outside. It just means you have many options. It shows you the exact plan. And depending on what your niche is, it shows you how to do each one. It shows you how to do the tech. It shows you how to do the messaging. It shows you how to do everything from start to finish. It explains big picture and small picture. It shows you exact examples. And you can basically just paint by numbers and do it really easily. Not to say that there won't be any pain in the learning, but that's where the pain comes from, the resistance. What I had to learn is like, yes, there was going to be pain in the learning, but the pain was right up until the time where I've gone, I need to surrender into the steps and just do the steps. So I hope that this has helped you. So the plan, if you want to plan, looking at this whole thing, breaking it down into something that's maybe a little bit simpler. So if you need examples, scroll down and look at my examples, because all three, the traffic, the trust, and the transaction stuff is going to be there. But if you want to, like, say, like, earn 200 per session, that's what you need to ask for. Do, let's say, like 8 sessions per program. Then 2 new clients per week would get you 3,200 per week. It's not hard, if that makes sense. Like anyone else who's doing, let's say, like, 3 to 5 grand a week in hypnotherapy, if they're doing that, they're not getting 50 new clients a week. This is the business maths that you really need to know, is that the most amount of money comes from the fewest amount of people, and that is normal because they're the ones who want the most help, if that makes sense. So if you want to be doing 250k a year, it doesn't need to come from that many people. It just needs to come from the people who actually are great clients and really want to see you, if that makes sense. So what's the plan? Traffic, trust, transaction. Traffic, post something every week, write an ebook or make one video, and then create an offer. Again, if you need examples, scroll down, go through them, let me know how you go, because I believe you can do this, and I want you to use this page as the inspiration, as the examples that you need to be able to fill your clinic. Let's do that. Let's go.